Hello, I'm super excited for you all to be here joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about the $1,000,000 myth in business. So we're going to explore the idea that becoming a millionaire overnight is not a realistic expectation. Instead, we should be focusing on the importance of patience, persistence, and consistent effort in building a successful business. If you have fallen prey to this myth, don't worry. I'm here to debunk it for you and provide you amazing tips on how you can get out of that rut, that mindset block. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Leave a comment below with where you're from and leave a little heart. I love engaging with other people who are new to my channel, so let me know below. I am doing a 3-day challenge soon about business and mindset and how you can become fearlessly successful in your business. So if you are interested in joining the challenge, just comment the word fearless below and I'll send you the details on how you can get registered. The challenge does start in a few weeks. So just comment the word fearless below to get added to the waitlist and you'll be the first to know when it launches. So let's start addressing the myth itself, shall we? And understanding why it's happening. So many people believe that overnight success stories are the norm in business, right? Even though there's this perception that is fueled by the media telling us that, it doesn't take hard work, it doesn't take years of, doing the groundwork. There's no setbacks. Really, you can just launch your business one day and become a millionaire the next. And this idea of, social sharing of our successes is good for social proof. But lately on social media across, different platforms, it's really showing that, success can be done overnight. And it's not really showing the behind the scenes, the work that you've put in, the setting up your business foundations, seeing all the setbacks that you have. I don't know if you've ever seen, you're just scrolling on your social media and you see like this 22-year-old girl who's like boasting how she works 2 hours a week and makes millions every day. I may be slightly exaggerating like the numbers, but it's true, right? We see this time and time again on our social media, everyone posting that they're making millions and millions of dollars. And so if you're not making millions in your business, you can start and think, oh, well, am I doing this right? Like, why am I failing in my business? Why am I not making that $1 million in my business? Why can't I make $1 million overnight? What are they doing that I'm not doing that I should be doing? Can I really even make it in business? Now I'm even doubting myself. So this is where shiny object syndrome and imposter syndrome come together to what I call the paradox of brilliance, or the perceived paradox of brilliance, right? So basically, I'm going to define them for you so you can understand like what I'm talking about. So shiny object syndrome is basically a pattern of behavior that you utilize when you have a strong tendency to be easily distracted by new opportunities, new ideas, and you often have a lack of focus or follow through on any current projects or goals that you're working on, right? You're experiencing that you're constantly chasing something new, something shiny that captures your attention, which leads to this cycle where you're just never really fully committing to anything, right? You aren't productive in your business, it impedes your progress, and you prevent yourself from achieving long-term goals because you're constantly chasing the next best thing. Right? And so imposter syndrome is this psychological phenomenon characterized by a persistent feeling that you're inadequate. You have self-doubt, you have this fear that you're going to be exposed as a fraud, despite any and all evidence of your competencies, your abilities, your achievements, your qualifications. So when you experience imposter syndrome, you start believing that your success is due to luck or external factors like, oh, this person helped me out. And you never really take credit for the work you've done, your competencies, your abilities, your qualifications, right? And when you keep thinking that your success is a fluke, this leads to you feeling like you're a fraud. Like anytime you talk about something, you're fraud. And it really harms your self-confidence, right? I remember when I was in high school, we had done these presentations, and anyways, the teacher asked me to stay after class. And I wasn't really sure why. I thought I rocked my presentation. And at that point, I really hated public speaking. I hated coming in front of crowds. I hated talking in front of people. I would have rather done a group presentation with a couple other people, so the pressure and the attention was not always on me. But anyways, it was a individual presentation, and I stayed after class. And she asked me, she's like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Like, just out of the blue. So I told her, I was like, well, I don't really know. I mean, it was still the early stages of high school. And I said, well, maybe a police officer. I like helping people and I like serving people. And I think that's a really good way, to keep the peace and really help people out. And I was like, but also I'm thinking maybe a teacher. My grandma, she was a teacher, and she really loved forming and empowering the younger minds. And I think that that's a brilliant career. I really like helping people, and I'm really good at, in group settings, group projects, at taking leadership and like making sure that everything goes really well. And she started laughing, like hysterically laughing. And I couldn't understand why. I was like, what is like, I didn't think that those career paths were like funny, but okay. So I'm listening. And she's like, no, you'll never do those. And I was like, okay, why? And she's like, because you're not good enough. You are not good enough to do those careers. You will amount to nothing in your life. You can't do it. You'll never make success. You will struggle your entire life because you're just not good enough. And let me remind you that this is a high school teacher who is supposed to empower you, who is supposed to guide you, supposed to, encourage you when you're young. And so from that day forward, I had massive imposter syndrome because anything I touched, I honestly thought was luck. I didn't think I was good enough to achieve it. I didn't think that I was meant to achieve it. And eventually I overcame it because I was like, enough's enough. Like, I need to take ownership. She doesn't rule my life. If she wants to say that it'll amount to nothing, I'm going to prove her wrong because I know that I have a lot of value to give to people. And so I went on and graduated high school with honors. I then went to college. So in Canada, we have a college system and a university system. College is more like trade school, and then university is more like the theoreticals of like, engineering and all that kind of jazz. And so I went to college in a very competitive program, and I graduated with distinction. And then I went to university and did a 4-year program, and I also graduated with honors and with a major in sociology, all about the socials, and a minor in philosophy. And I took what she said that day, and it still holds me each and every day, where I look at that as a lesson that people who are threatened by you will try to diminish your glow, will try to diminish your light because they want what you have and they can't get it. So they make themselves feel better by putting you down. And I had to overcome that imposter syndrome, right? It was really tough thinking that I was not good enough for anything, thinking that I would never amount to anything. And I took charge and I learned from that, and I moved forward using, strength and doing personal growth, doing personal development, understanding that I actually have value and that I will not let other people tell me that I will achieve nothing in life. That's just not an option. And I've proven them wrong time and time again. My family has 6 children, and I am the 4th one, and I was the first one to graduate from a post-secondary education. And so that alone just shows the amount of determination and persistence that I have. And those are 2 key things that are important when you're in business. So anyways, in a nutshell, that's what shiny object syndrome. You're constantly chasing the shiny objects. And then imposter syndrome, feeling like you're a fraud, feeling like you're inadequate, feeling like you are only getting the success you have due to luck. And it is possible to overcome both. But if you put them together with this $1 million idea that you can be a millionaire overnight, we have this perceived brilliance paradox when we are strongly inclined to go towards that shiny object, the new opportunities that is all harboring this deep-seated, rooted doubt that we have in our own abilities. And we're fearing that we don't fully deserve, our achievements. We don't fully deserve the results that we're getting, right? Because when we try a new opportunity, we start a new strategy and we might be getting results. So we're all excited. But then our imposter syndrome kicks in and we're like, oh, shoot, like, was this really me? Like, do I deserve this? Oh, I don't think I should be doing this. I'm not worthy. Nope. And then you're like, well, this isn't working. Like, I can't do this. I should quit. Oh, a new shiny thing. Ooh, a new object. Okay, I'm going to try that strategy. And it just perpetuates this cycle where we're constantly chasing something new to fill that void, to fill that fear, right? To fill the illusion that we're trying something new, we're setting up our foundations, and oh, wait, no, we're actually not going anywhere, right? We're just going back to this, oh, it was just luck. I didn't deserve it. Like, what if they think I'm a fraud? I'm too young to be doing this. Who's going to listen to me? Like, why would anyone listen to me? And that's the thing. So when we have these challenges that arise, we start focusing on what's next, instead of focusing on the long-term commitment and believing in yourself and understanding that your desire to grow your business is underlined by a passion that you have, right? And when we are passionate about something, we need to keep plunging forward, right? When our passions are aligned with our purposes in life, it can create something really beautiful, but we have to be willing to keep going, and we have to be thinking about business in a long-term scale instead of this, get rich quick scheme, right? Because if you are just in business to get rich quick, I have a thing for you. Like, it's not going to work. People are going to feel that desperation. It might work a little bit, but it won't work long term. And so you need to create a sustainable plan in order to create a successful business. And so if we're normalizing the idea that becoming a millionaire overnight is possible, then we're not looking at all the hard work and effort and personal growth and development that is needed in order to grow. So instead of focusing on let's build our business and create $1 million overnight, let's switch that focus and set some realistic expectations, some realistic goals, create a solid business foundation so that we can actually achieve that $1 million mark, because you can make $1 million or more in your business. It is entirely possible. You just need the correct steps in order to achieve that mark, right? So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can look at to help you start creating that foundation in order to push back those challenges and push back that myth that is so pushed in our face lately. So the first thing is defining success. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is redefine what success means for you in your business. If you think to yourself, what does success look like to me? Start jotting down ideas that come to mind. Success is not only measured in wealth, it's measured in personal development, it's measured in providing value to others, it's measured in how much of a positive impact you have on society, building a community, building your tribe, right? So look at what success means to you and strive for that instead of comparing yourself to other people who their success definition is not the same as yours, right? No 2 journeys are alike. And so if you're comparing yourself to someone else's journey, then you might say, well, my success is not their success. They're getting the results that I want and I don't have that. And then you start doubting yourself, doubting your ability. And then when something new comes up in your feed, you're like, I'm going to take that on. I'm going to try that instead and see if that works because she's doing something and I want to do that. So success is not measured only in numbers, right? It's measured in your level of happiness, your overall achievements, your willingness to grow. I'm going to tell you a story. So I go see my chiropractor every month, and he was telling me a story about how, and we talk a lot about this stuff, but anyways, he was telling me a story on how he cracks, two people that have the same career. So they're both lawyers and they both have very different lifestyles. They both make the same amount of money. Okay, so both pretty high powered careers, all as well. The first chiropractor loves life. He's got a family, he spends time with his family, they travel, he makes good cash, he's always happy, loving life, serving others, volunteering, and life is so good. You have the other lawyer who is money hungry. And if he's not making money, he's pissed. And he's, super negative and just not aligned with his purpose. They both have the same career, they both make the same money, and yet one of them has success and the other doesn't. So think about it. What does success mean to you? If you're just money hungry and just looking for more money, more money, more money, more money, you're missing out on the bigger picture, the experiences that are shared, the joy that you feel when you're working, and when you're not aligned, it means that you are maybe not doing your purpose in life. And yes, you can have more than one purpose in life, but understanding what success means to you is definitely a stepping stone in creating your foundation because you're setting up your own expectations. The other one is long-term mindset, right? When we want to build a successful business, we need a long-term mindset. It's crucial to understand that success does not happen overnight and that true achievements come from effort, perseverance, and a willingness to fail forward. My coach used to tell me, fail forward. If you're not failing, you need to fail forward. And what this means is that if we're not willing to take any action and make mistakes, we're not growing, we're not learning, we're not achieving that level of success that we want, right? Because if you're constantly just going on the hamster wheel and doing the same thing over and over again and you're expecting different results, well, that's insanity, right? And so we want to make sure that we're failing forward, trying new things, getting messy, making mistakes, so that way we can learn from it, tweak it, and start again, right? So if you're focusing on creating that $1 million business overnight, you got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to take action. You got to be willing to do something that's super scary to get the money that you want, to make more money, to nurture more people, to give value. So it's a mindset shift, right? You need to start thinking about, first of all, what does success mean to me? And what kind of failing forward am I willing to take to get that level of success that I want, right? If you're not willing to spend the time, the effort, the energy to build up a solid business foundation, but also a solid mindset foundation, then your business isn't going to be long-term. And you're going to start thinking to yourself, why isn't this working? What's not working right now? Like, why is my business not taking off? Why am I not making money? And then imposter syndrome starts coming in, and then shiny object syndrome. And then we go through that cycle again. So go back to your why you started your business. Go back to a time when you initially started your business. You were super passionate about it. You had so much enthusiasm. Energy was roaring all around you. And go back to that moment. Maybe meditate, do a visualization, go back to that moment and feel the energy, feel the passion, the purpose, the why around why you started your business. Feel that energy and sit with it. And then ask yourself, what was I doing at that moment that was giving me the success that I felt? And go from there. Number 3. Okay, so this is the importance of planning and using strategies, right? If you develop a solid business plan and strategy, it is key to building a successful, sustainable business, right? Because we want sustainability out of our business. We don't want to put all this time and effort in and then have to repeat the same things and the same struggles over and over and over again, right? At the same level. When you build a map, and you map out your business journey, the one that you want to stay on, it helps you stay focused, motivated, and on track, especially when challenges come in, because they will come in. There's this little thing called the ego. And when you take 3 steps forward, the ego wants you to take 4 steps back because you're getting out of your comfort zone, right? The one thing that is comfortable is to do nothing, right? That's very comfortable because we know the outcome. We know that nothing will change. Nothing in our life will change, and that's okay. But if we push the boundaries and we start doing things out of the unknown, the ego wants to push you back, right? To keep you hostage, to keep you in that same place, because that's comfortable. What you're doing is uncomfortable. And so you need to have the strength and the grit to say no, even though it's uncomfortable, I'm doing it anyway. Even though it's uncertain, I'm doing it anyway, right? So mapping out that journey, mapping out your content strategy, your launch strategies, your lead magnet strategies will really help you stay focused and clear on your journey, right? If you do things on a whim all the time, then your content and your message is not being communicated effectively to your audience because you're always changing your patterns of communication, right? So we need to make sure that we align them with a plan so that there's a trajectory that your audience follows when they are, engaging with your audience, your content, sorry. The same thing goes for business. If you're not willing to plan, then plan to fail. And my coach told me that, and it's always stuck with me. If you're not willing to plan, then plan to fail. Because if you don't put any plan or strategy or steps in place to create a sustainable business, then you're just going to continue going up and down and up and down and up and down. It's going to go swiggly really, really fast, and you're going to get depleted. Your energy is going to get depleted because you're like, why isn't this working? I've tried all these different strategies and nothing is working. Because you don't have a plan. You don't have a long-term plan. These strategies that you put in place are meant for months at a time, not days, not weeks. So make sure that when you think of creating the sustainable business, that you're making a plan so that you don't fail. And there's nothing wrong with failing forward, right? Trying something and it not work, tweaking it, retrying, tweaking it again, trying it again, because when you look at your insights, when you look at your dashboards, when you look at the metrics that are involved with your content, your website, your course load, you can see the metrics, what people resonate with. You can see what patterns of behaviors that your audience really enjoys from you. Start using those. If that's any indication, start looking at your metrics more. Understand your metrics, and it will be easier to plan for you. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is your business. So I want to share with you some success stories of other individuals that have faced a lot of setbacks, a lot of challenges before they achieved their goals and dreams. And I'm sure you know some of these people, okay? But you may not know their story. And looking at their story and using that as inspiration, not comparison, but inspiration to fuel your fire, to say, you know what? They did it, I can do it. We've got this, right? It's really good to use other people's success stories to get inspiration, to get you empowered, to get you motivated to keep going when you're faced with challenges. So the first person is Walt Disney, okay? He faced a ton of failures, rejections from the very beginning. He actually experienced bankruptcy and several failed businesses, and people were really doubting his creativities, his ideas. And even though they doubted him, he persisted. And ultimately, he's built one of the most successful entertaining empires in the world. How cool is that, right? Oprah Winfrey, she's another major influence media mogul, and she experienced a difficult childhood and faced several obstacles throughout her careers. She was fired as a news anchor at the age of 22 because she was unfit for TV, and she transitioned into hosting a daytime talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, and she's become one of the highest rating talk television shows in the history. And today, she's not only a billionaire, but she's a renowned advocate for personal growth and empowerment. And despite all the challenges that she faced, she worked hard, she owned her skills, and she built a media empire that touches millions of people's lives, right? Colonel Hardin Sanders. So the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, little KFC. So he actually encountered a lot of rejection before finding his success. So he operated out of a little service station, and then they built a highway that bypassed his service station. So he lost a lot of business and had to close it down. So at the age of 65, right, he was not a young chicken. At the age of 65, he had one fried chicken recipe, and he traveled across the United States to pitch his idea to a ton of different restaurants. He faced over 1,000 rejections, but he persisted, and his recipe was finally accepted, and leading it to the establishment of KFC that it is today. And it's globally recognized as a fast food chain restaurant. J.K. Rowling. So she's one of the wealthiest authors in the world, and she's created the Harry Potter series. That's what she's known for. And she faced so many rejections from publishers, it's unreal. Not only was she a single mother, but she was living on welfare and battling depression. And despite all her setbacks, she persisted and kept redefining her manuscripts until she finally got it accepted. And it's led to a global phenomenon and has sold millions of copies all over the world, and they've created movies out of it. Elon Musk. So he's the entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX. He experienced multiple failures and setbacks in his careers. His first venture was Zip2, which faced several challenges, but then he learned from those experiences and went on to co-found PayPal. So after selling PayPal, he faced multiple financial difficulties and encountered multiple failures in his early attempts to go into the space industry. And he persevered through all of that. And he's well known to have continued to look back from his failures and redefine his success. Last one, Steve Jobs, which this one is always so, this one's really empowering for me. So he was the co-founder of Apple, and he experienced multiple ups and downs throughout his entrepreneurial journey with Apple. He was then ousted by Apple, and he went on and co-founded the company. He was ousted by Apple, and so it was the company that he co-founded, and that led him to a pretty big setback. He went on to start Next and Pixar Animation Studios, both which had their own setbacks and challenges, and he then returned to Apple, where he spearheaded the company's transformation and innovated the products like iPhone, iPad, and made Apple one of the most valuable companies in the world. So here's the thing. All these people have a few things in common. They have persistence, they have consistency, and they have adaptability. And these three characteristics are vital to achieving a long-term success in your business, right? When we know what we're doing is the right thing, we need to stay committed and persistent to getting those results. It's really easy to quit, but it's way more rewarding to see the efforts translated into wealth. 90% of people who face challenges in entrepreneurship quit right before they are going to hit massive success. 90%. That is a huge statistic, right? Challenges will come and go. But if you have a long-term plan, a plan to be successful, a journey mapped out for your business, you too can be successful and overcome those challenges. Be persistent, so persistent and dedicated to your dream that only you have control of quitting your dream. Not a challenge that you face, but you. If you put consistent effort and you're constantly showing up and learning new skills and improving the skills and strategies that you're using, it makes a huge difference in sustainability of your business, right? Because if you're learning new things, you're not focused on being stuck. When you learn new things, you're focused on the things that you're learning, the things that that's going to help your business grow. Not looking at, woe is me, like this isn't working, I can't do this, why do I feel stuck, right? Learn something new when you feel stuck, and then it'll give you energy and passion again. It's about showing up. Even though you don't see the results right away, it's about showing up. Be consistent in showing up because that builds momentum and it makes progress over time. Each action step you take compounds over time. So don't stop. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep being consistent in what you're doing. And be adaptable to change. In today's rapid evolving business landscape, adaptability is crucial, right? We need to embrace change, have an open mind, and be willing to pivot our strategies when necessary. Flexibility allows you to adjust to the market demands and seize new opportunities. The only constant is change. I'm going to say that again. The only constant is change. So if you're not willing to be adaptable and you're not willing to make the necessary changes to how you run your business, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities, right? Let's take the algorithm, for example, on Instagram. It is, everyone talks about the algorithm when really it's many algorithms that are helping the user bring videos and information to them that they like based on their preferences and choices that they've selected, the things that they've watched, the amount of time that they watched it at. Even Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, talks about the changes of the algorithm and how they're redefining how it determines your likability of certain content that you're shown. But unless you're willing to adapt your practices by reviewing your dashboard, reviewing your numbers, it's going to be very hard for you to understand what your audience wants to see and what they want to engage with. So the $1 million myth is just that. It's a myth. Success in business requires time, effort, and perseverance. By setting up realistic expectations, adopting a long-term mindset, and staying consistent and adaptable when you are building a solid business foundation that is sustainable. Remember, it's okay to not be a millionaire overnight. Embrace your journey. Learn from the examples of others who have faced obstacles and stayed persistent, right? Use their stories as inspiration for you to continue down your journey, to continue down your path. And remember, you too can grow a successful business and you too can become a millionaire with your business. It just takes some time and energy and dedication to your passion, to your goals, to your business. If you're interested in joining the 3-day Fearless Success Challenge, comment the word fearless below and I will send you the details to get onto the waitlist. We're starting in a few weeks and I'm very excited for it. We're going through the different channels that you need to become fearlessly successful in your business, setting up those business foundations, setting up our mindset foundation, and making sales in our business. So if you're interested in joining that challenge, comment the word fearless below, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get the most out of business and mindset content.